All right, so today we're going deep on something pretty wild. Debanking.
Debanking.
Yeah, you know when like someone gets totally cut off from using banks or financial services?
Oh, right. Like they can't get a bank account or credit card, anything like that.
Exactly. And you send over some really interesting stuff comparing how this has happened to different groups of people.
Ah, yes.
Especially this one post on X, what used to be Twitter,
Right.
by KanekoaTheGreat, and it focuses on crypto entrepreneurs, people supporting Trump, and the Biden family.
Interesting.
It really got me thinking. What do you think?
Well, I think it definitely brings up some big differences in how people have been treated.
Yeah, and right off the bat, KanekoaTheGreat makes this bold statement.
Oh, yeah.
That tons of people in crypto and people who are associated with Trump have been debanked.
Okay.
But the Biden family hasn't, even though there have been over 170 suspicious activity reports filed against them. SARS.
170.
170. That's got to be a huge red flag, right?
Well, it's definitely a lot, but SARS are kind of like smoke signals.
Yeah.
You know?
What do you mean?
Like a bank sends one up when they see something that might be illegal.
Sure.
It could be money laundering fraud, something like that.
So it's not like proof of a crime?
No, not automatically. It just means investigators are going to look into it more closely.
So maybe not a fire, but definitely some smoke.
Exactly.
And this expose then goes into detail about what those 170 SARs were actually about.
Okay.
Money laundering, human trafficking, tax fraud, even getting money from foreign governments.
Wow. That's pretty serious stuff.
Definitely. And each of those accusations could have huge legal consequences.
Absolutely. Like receiving money from foreign governments that can trigger investigations about breaking a law called FAR.
Yeah, the Foreign Agents Registration Act. You can think of it like a watchdog that makes sure foreign countries aren't secretly influencing U.S. politics.
Interesting.
It's all about transparency, making sure everything's done in the open.
Got it. And there was this one detail in the post that really stood out to me. It mentioned 9 Biden family members.
Even grandchildren allegedly getting money. And it was all routed through this crazy network of 20 shell companies.
Shell companies.
Yeah. Why do you think they'd make it so complicated?
Well, shell companies can be used to hide where money is really coming from. It's like trying to follow a trail through a maze.
So it makes it harder to see who's really in control and where the money's going.
Exactly, and that's why it raises so many eyebrows.
It's like KanekoaTheGreat is pointing out this big contrast here, All these crypto people and Trump supporters, even Melania and Barron Trump, reportedly got debanked.
Right.
But we haven't heard about the same thing happening to the Bidens.
It makes you wonder if debanking is being applied fairly across the board.
Yeah, like, is it really about stopping financial crime, or are there other things at play?
It's a good question. If it's a tool to fight crime, it should be used consistently no matter who's involved, right?
Definitely. And there was this quote from the post that really hit me. It's that debanking is being used like a weapon. Yeah, against people here in the U.S. who disagree with certain policies, kind of like how the U.S. dollar can be used as leverage against other countries.
That's a powerful statement. It suggests that the financial system could be used for political reasons.
Right. It makes you question who really holds the power and if there are enough safeguards in place.
We have to be careful not to jump to conclusions based on just one source.
Oh, for sure.
But it's definitely something to think about.
Absolutely. So where does this deep dive leave us? I mean, we've got this comparison between what the Post says about the Biden family's finances and then all these other people who got debanked sometimes for things that seem way less serious.
Yeah, this whole thing is really complex.
Super complex. So what's the big takeaway here?
Well, I think the core question is, does this show a genuine effort to fight financial crime? Or could there be double standards based on people's political connections?
Oh, wow. So like, is debanking a legitimate tool to enforce the law?
Yeah, or is it being used for something else entirely? That's the question.
That's a big question.
It is, and it's definitely something worth looking into. Do your own research, see what you find.
That's great advice. All right, that's our deep dive for today. Thanks for listening, everybody, and keep those questions coming.
Absolutely. Keep learning.